Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I can't sing. Slooby dooby dooby doo. Slooby dooby dooby doo. Right. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, pick it up, okay. Let me just get you set up where I want you to be. There we go. Hello. Hello there. That was my hot, sexy voice. Could you tell? Oh dear, I do live in a dream world sometimes. I've got my cup of tea, so I'm just going to have a quick slurp of my brew. I think there's a few people here, but they're very shy. They're not coming forward and saying hello. Say hello. Oh, who was that? Linda. Good morning. Oh, no, good afternoon. She changed her mind. Hi there, Michelle. And happy birthday, Michelle, as well. I've lost track of my days. Was it yesterday or was it today? I can't remember. I woke up I woke up one day during the week and I thought it was Saturday. Totally lost track of time. Oh, it's today. Yes, I think I said happy birthday this morning, didn't I? Oh, heck. And you're on here. No one taking you out for any wild party. Hi there, Emma. Finally catching alive. Hey. Sweet Pea Creations. Hi there. Alicia Lacey. You should not be on here, but we'll let you off. That's my granddaughter, everyone. Hi. Oh, it's Scarlett. I beg your pardon. Scarlett's here watching, not Alicia. That's my other granddaughter. Hiya, Scarlett. Love you. Who else is here? Monica, Linda, Maureen. Hi, Maureen. Hang on. The computer's a bit too far away for my eyesight. Just bear with me. Uli, is that? And Anne. Lovely you. I know, lovely me. Scarlett definitely shouldn't be on here. She's way too young to be on here, but not to worry. Shh, I won't tell if you won't. Hi there, Karen. Okay, now, just before we start, I'm just going to have a slurp of my brew. Okay, just before we start, there's something that I need to explain. And I only realised this from watching the last live that I did. Now then, where's my scissors? Okay. Now then, when I record a video, obviously I watch it back because I trim it down and rearrange it and stuff. But on the lives, I didn't realise it does this. Oh, you watch, it won't do it now. I don't know whether you can hear like an echoey sound. And it's because my phone is attached to a spring arm, a lever thing that moves so that it holds my phone and it moves so I can get it in the right position. And I hadn't realised, but every time I dropped my scissors or anything else in previous lives, you keep hearing this echoey sound, and I hadn't realised that that's what it does. Who's that? Kelly? I've been missing for a bit, getting my classroom ready. We've had 2 successful weeks of school. Now I can get back into bookmaking. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, my love. And who was that? Alice. Alice is from Canada. Oh, there's quite a few of you. Yeah, you see, I can't hear it at this end. it doesn't make that sound for me at all. It's only once I watched the replay that I realised how much it is actually echoing. So I'm going to try to very delicately move everything and put it down on the table. So apologies in advance for that. Now then, today's live is about something that happened this morning. I received an email this morning from Ephemera's Vintage Garden about a new digital kit, and I was like, got to have it. And it's £5 Canadian, which worked out at £3 and a few pennies for the UK market. Hello there, Cheryl. Hosina, sorry, I'm reading. Just bear with me a minute. I love the nature notes. Yeah, I'm not using this. Hi there, Sheila. Still lots of people joining us. Hi there, Anzo from South Africa. So I've been wanting to make myself an autumn journal for a few weeks now, and I've just not had the time to get round to it because obviously I'd been working on the postcard thing and the toilet paper thing, and so I just have not had the time to make myself an autumn journal. Now, I want a journal that I can have at the side of my bed that I can write a quick note in about how my day's gone. And again, partly to do with what's been happening with COVID is my brain has not been working as well as it should have done. Some people would say that that's to do with age, but anyway. Hi there, Angela, our leader. Kayla, hang on. Dib, dib, dib. And when I was going through the country diary book, when I was doing the postcards, I had, because I've never read, I've only ever looked at the pictures, I've never read the book. And I've noticed that, like, in the book, there's just, like, single word statements for the day. So on July the 22nd, on the way home, I saw a dead grass snake about 2 feet long hanging on a bough. Now, let me tell you, I'm not going to be writing that in my journal. I'm going to be writing things like, Mr. Amazon man came to see me again today with another parcel. Those will be my entries, nothing to do with dead snakes. So that's what I got that out for, was just to basically show you, you know, when you're writing in a journal, it doesn't have to be an essay. It can just be a single line. Like, there'll be a few of mine that'll say, all right, Scarlett, close your ears if you're listening. So mine will be things like, I've had a crap day today. And just leave it at that. Anyway, the whole point of me doing this was because of this digital kit, and it's a new one, and it's called Autumn Realm, and the colours just appealed to me because I love rich jewel tone colours. I mean, I've got autumn stuff coming out of my ears, so you know, I needed another autumn journal kit like all in the head, really. But so those are the ephemera pages. Oh, hang on, I've got 2 of them. And then these are the actual pages, which just appeal to me totally. And I wanted to create a journal that was going to be really quick and ready for me to use tonight. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to be making myself one, I might as well get you guys to join me as well along the way if you wanted to. And then you can all have a little chit-chat amongst yourselves. Because obviously I'm going to be working. I'm not going to be able to sit and watch what you're all writing. Now, this is the one that I'm thinking of having on my front cover, but we'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, those colours just really, really appeal to me. Now, I printed it off on my best quality white paper. And before you ask me, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but underneath my other videos, there's an Amazon link. And if you click on the link, it'll take you to my little shoppy place. And there's a section on papers, and it's the yellow packet one. That's me nice quality paper. Now, I also had to go at printing it out on some I've got it to hand. No, I haven't. Just bear with. It's gone. Oh, it's there. Oh, and the other thing is my creaky chair. I had a go on printing it out on some creamy coloured cardstock and I didn't like it. So if you look at this, you might not see it on the screen, but this flower here, that's it on the cream. And that's it on the white. I mean, look at the difference with that. I mean, obviously, the cream colour's going to show through more, but it just came out a lot clearer on the white. So, yeah, I've just seen it on the screen. You can't really tell that much difference, but there was a lot of difference. So, I wanted to use this digital kit in my journal. And as I say, I wanted to make something that was really quick that I can use tonight. So, the next thing I thought of was I've got these. These I've shown you before on other videos, and they're a pack of 3 A5 sketchbooks from Hobbycraft. Okay, sorry for those that live abroad, but this is what we can get in the UK, and there's something like £2, £2.50 for the 3, and it's really nice paper. So, I'm going to be using one of these for my journal. And if I remember rightly, I think there's 40 pages in total. So, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the centre, 10 for the other side, so that's 20, and then there's the other side of the paper, so that's 40. So I've got 40 different sheets to work on. And if I'm only writing one-liners, I could get, 2 or 3 days on a page maybe, with a bit of decoration as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm trying to do things a little bit slower so that you don't get that much of the reverberation of my spring thing. I'm going to take the staples out because I want to stitch these pages back in place. You don't have to take the pages out, but it's just easier for what I'm going to do. So, take those out. And you can tell from the state of my fingers already that I've been playing this morning. So have you done anything special for your birthday then, Michelle, today? Oh, I can see a few others have turned up. Gail, Jessica, hello there, and Shauna. Yes, we know you've got school, Miss Scarlett. Is Alicia watching it with you as well, and Jackie, or are you just on your own watching it, Scarlett? For those that missed it earlier, Scarlett is my granddaughter, and she's too young to be watching these videos. I think she just did it just so she could hear her name being mentioned. You by yourself. Haven't you told your sister that you're on her account? Just had a visit from the grandchildren and eaten. That's lovely though, Michelle. Okay, so I'm just separating my pages at the moment. They bought you a birthday cake, Michelle. Okay, I think we need to go a little bit quicker, don't I? Seeing as I would like to get this done today. And I have a big sister phone because she has the new phone. I see. Okay, now, as I say, I wanted to just I want nice pages. You know, I didn't want to coffee dye them. I don't want to do any of that. I wanted to use that digital kit, but I wanted something a bit more arty-farty, if you like. So I got my jelly plate out, and the size that I've got is A5. I've got a crumb on there from lunchtime. Don't want that on there. This is the one that I've got, is an A5. Now, I've been watching what Andrea's been doing with hers, with ink and, you know, the what's it paint? Acrylic paint, I couldn't think of the word, and leaves and stuff. I don't want to do any of that. I want something that's a little bit quicker than that. And this is why I've pulled these in as individual pages out, because A5, same size, you see. Now, the first thing that I did was I got my distress inks out and I tried to pick autumnally colours. So I've got my browns and my greens and my purples. Just reading what Maureen put. She's a cheeky one, that one. So yeah, so I got these colours out. So there's wild honey, spiced marmalade, brushed corduroy, aged mahogany, crushed olive, peel paint and dusty concord. So those were the kind of hues that I was going for. So if I use peeled paint, spiced marmalade and brushed corduroy to start with. Now obviously I'm not going to get all the pages done in the video, but I just wanted to give you some kind of idea where I'm going with this. Oh, and old paper, that was my other one. I like old paper, it's got a lovely greeny tinge to it. So all I did, and you could use a glass mat, you could use a sheet of plastic if you want. You don't have to use the jelly plate for what I'm about to do. So basically all I did was I went and smushed my ink onto my jelly plate, added a couple of other colours so that they kind of mix up a bit. I'm going to leave those two for a minute. Let's just do those two greens, and then I've got my little spritzer with water in, and then I spritzed it. Now if you don't spritz it well enough, you end up with the square impressions of where you've dabbed your ink on. So we want to break up those lines a bit. So as you can see, there's a lot of water on there at the moment. And then I'm just going to dibble dabble on top, lightly press and lift it off. Okay, so at the moment it's a bit boring. Let's get my little heat tool. And I'm just going to quickly dry off some of this excess water that's on here, because I'm going to do a couple of layers of colour. You watch, I can see what will be coming, you know. Nana, you know that video you did? This is when she comes to stay. Can we do some of them? Okay, dry. Done, dusted, dry. Let's wibble wobble some of this ink down. Smush it about a bit. Dab it a bit more. And because you dry that first layer, you can start to see when you put other layers on top. Mess is good fun though, Scarlett. Yeah, I like old paper as well. Now the other thing you might start to see is just about here is where some of the water has gone, but you can see now it's starting to build up. It's starting to build up these dark and light shades of the colour. So let's add a bit of brush corduroy in there. Spray a bit of water on. And then I'm just going to dib and dab. Okay, and dry it again. And then again, you see the brown will start to come alive as it dries because it's sitting on top of the green as a separate colour. Whereas if you do all those colours together, they'll just all mash together as one colour and one big splodge. So just inking a little bit, drying a bit, and then inking a bit more, drying that, and then inking a bit more. You start to build up these layers. I don't know whether you can see that very well, so it's not showing up very well on my screen. So still got ink on there, so let's do another piece. Squish that on. Might as well use up what we've got. No, not so much colour on there now. Okay, so let's add the brown first. Now obviously this is, you know, this isn't anything new. We've all seen this before if you've been watching your Tim Holtz things and what have you. Lots of other people have done this. I'm not doing anything new. But I tried to choose colours that would help to show off that digital kit. And that's why I started using the purple. And as you'll see in a minute, some of the pink. I knew I'd forget something. I forgot my kitchen roll. Oh, fiddler-diddler-dee. Okay. And I also like it when you start to get this interesting spotting. I missed that. What colour is it you haven't got, Michelle? Ah, this is what you did with your index card, Zena. Bit of smushing and smashing. Okay, so you can see it starts to build up those colours really nicely. Okay, so you're all going to have to just sit here and entertain yourselves for a minute because I need to go and get my kitchen roll, so I'll be back in a second. It's only over the other side of the kitchen and I'll be back in a sec. There you go, see, I'm on my way back. And see, I'm back. Oh. Okay, let me mop that up because I want to change to a slightly different technique. Who's going to have a go at doing the toilet paper thing anyway? And the kitchen roll thing? Maybe me. Now, as I say, I'm going to be going off after I finish this live and carrying on playing with the rest of my papers. So then, the next thing I then started playing with was my distress stains. Now the great thing about the distress stain, as opposed to, oh, excuse me, that's my chair, not me. The great thing about the distress stain like these, rather than the inks, is that you don't get that square. So you can just smush a load of colours on it. And this one is fossilised amber. We've got forest moss. And it doesn't take a lot of ink at all. What's this one? Oh, old paper. There's a surprise. Ooh. And then I'll spritz it with some water. Now this doesn't separate in the same way as you see the distress ink separating. It forms little pools of ink. So you can spray it close up to get those inks to move. Okay, so can you see now how that's caused them to move? Okay, let's squidge that down on there. Now I'm only going to press lightly because there's actually quite a lot of colour on there. Dry that. And it dries quite quickly as well. I was surprised at how quickly it dries. Yeah, that's what made me think of it, Karen. I actually thought about doing it a month or two ago, and I've held off doing it about the toilet rolls because I thought the amount of people that have gone and topped up on toilet rolls, and I've gone overboard. Okay, so as we can see, there's all this space up here. I want a bit of colour on there too. So I'm just going to dab that bottom edge. And again, it's creating that second layer on top. So it's separating the colours rather than becoming one great big smush of mud. Because normally when you add green and yellow together it makes brown. Just wipe that bit off. And you can see it's sort of starting to form these lovely shades and shapes, and let's do a little bit down there. And then of course you can go and do your water drops on top. But the other thing that I want to show you, I'm going to show you sort of a few options really. Okay, let's just wipe up that excess a minute. Hang on. Ooh. Nearly dropped that on the floor. I'll put that. Okay, so you get this lovely effect. And then obviously you can then go and do your water droplets on top. And do it where it's more concentrated with colour as well. Just start to let it, allow it to seep in a little bit, and then you can dab off some of the excess. So that it starts to form those little water droplets. They were quite big splodges, those. Now, what I've got here is this is an innard to a washi tape roll. And if I get my walnut stain, and then I can form my coffee rings. on top. And I found it was a real nice size for this sort of size of paper. Okay, next thing after the distress stain that I then played with was, start with another page. I only ordered 3. No, I didn't. I ordered 4. I forgot what the 4th colour was. I ordered these Delusions shimmer sprays, and this one was, where's the colour? Oh heck, can't see. My eyesight's not good enough to see. Where's it gone? This one might, is it pink bubble gum or something? I don't know where she puts the colour name. Is it on there? See if you can read it. I can't read that. Oh, hang on. Right, it's not there. Why not? I'm having a look on my own computer screen to read it. Is it on that bit? Oh, heck. Anyway, it's pink. And it's got the mica in the bottom. But when you shake it, there's a ball inside. There you go. Near the ball. And it's starting to mix up the mica. So you can see now, look, that the mica's slightly disappeared. See you later, Scarlett. Be good. Speak to you soon. Right. Now, who would think that bright pink and this brown, I think that this one was chocolate. This is about as near to exercise as I get these days. And the green one, lime something. Anyone knows the colours of Diane's sprays? Okay. So who would think that this really bright pink, brown and the green would work well for autumn? Because I didn't. I was having a play this morning. Okay, let's take another page. Get my spritzer at the ready. Okay, so what I did was, from higher up, I sprayed a little bit of ink. So you need to cover your work surface for this because it will go everywhere. So that was just one of pink. Alicia's joined us now. Hi there, Alicia. And then a splidge of green. And then the chocolate brown we'll do down in this corner. Right, oh, I missed. I went a bit higher up than I thought. Okay, so let's just put it on as it is. And let's see what happens. But because it's the mica, by the time it's dried, it will have a lovely speckly finish to it. Okay, so I've got this stripe up here. Let's see if I can get rid of that. And the thing is, it doesn't matter about my fingerprints on this side either. Okay. Ooh, there's some there on my mat, look. Okay, let's spritz you with a bit of water. You see, it's come alive there, look. Let's dab you. Spritz you again. Dry it. Now if I bring over my one of the pages, so look, it's got those pinky hues in it. So that pink works really well. I want to heat up my mat. So this one's much more speckled, whereas the other one is much more puddles, pattern puddles, I suppose you would say. I know, I've got a whoopee chair. It's terrible, you know. It's a good job I live on my own, really. Otherwise, my partner would be thinking I'm parping all the time. Oh, Tyler says I miss you. Oh, my grandchildren are joining in. Okay. Quite liking those colours. Now then, the next bit that I wanted to do was I got myself a stencil out. Now this is going down the route of what you normally do with a jelly print. Okay. So I'm going to spray it with brown and green. Just lightly mist it from above. The dove from above. And then some green. Where's my water one? And I'm just going to do a little bit of water from a little bit higher up. So I want it to be a fine mist on top of that water, on top of those inks. Just going to use the other side of that. Lay that down. And what will happen is I will get an imprint of the stencil. You see? Now obviously if you're doing it with acrylic paints and stuff, you get a very, very different effect. So let's just quickly dry that off. Have a slurp of tea. Okay. Then on the inside, if I now remove that very carefully, there's now an imprint on the jelly plate. Let's see if I can show it to you close up. So can you see that imprint? So if I lay that down that way, and this is the basis of jelly printing really, is making layers with paint and inks and stencils and shapes and okay. It's a bit smushy, but I'm not worried about that. And then this side of the stencil has also got ink on it, so I could flip that stencil over and do the same on there. Press that down and then that will imprint onto the other side. Not very well. There's not too much ink on that. But then what I can do is see if I can find you. Trying to find the pattern. No, I'll tell you what, I'll show you with a different stencil because it shows up better. Right, but I would actually go and cover that with... Right, let's do it with that. Let's do it with this. With the distress stain again. And that's the nice thing about doing stuff like this, is if it goes wrong, don't matter, just cover it over with something else. Get a bit of gesso out, cover it over with that. Just weaken it down. Squidge these about a bit. Oh, running out of water. it's a case of once you start on this little journey of just, I will only do a few pages. No, you don't. You end up doing loads. I've been at this all morning. You're like, oh, I wonder what that combination colour would look like. Okay, so that was over the rubbish side. I wanted to take a little bit of that excess ink off the jelly plate. So if I just do a little smush there, a little smush there, it starts to blend in a bit better. Oh, Zena's off to go and get a washing in. Okay, now I don't particularly like those 2 pages, so I will come back and I'll do other things on top of these with other stencils. But that just gives you a bit of a gist of what you can do. Now, one of the other pages that I did was did I do that first? No, I did that first. Okay, so I've got this leaf stencil. Let's mix the mica up. Nearly done. And I'm going to go green and pink. Okay, bye Teresa, bye Michelle. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's lay this one on top of that, and that will get the imprint of the stencil onto the page. Yeah, don't eat too much birthday cake, Michelle. Think of the calories, girl. Think of the calories. Can you see that imprint that it's made? Which is quite cool. And then if I carefully lift the stencil off, it works better with acrylic paints, to be honest, rather than ink sprays. Okay, let's see what that side's done. And that was what was left. So you can see the 2 different sides of it now. So this was the impression off the stencil, and this was the impression from off the plate. But it creates a really nice effect again and again, with those, you know, sorts of colours in mind again. It works really well. I would never have thought that that bright pink would have worked well with this. Okay, let me just mop up. Talk amongst yourselves for a bit while I mop up a bit and clear my decks. Now I do say that this has to have a good clean, because I don't know whether you can see not just the shine off my windows, but from the mica powder, it's left a film on. So I've got to give that a really good wipe down after I've used it with mica. And then in fact there's still some ink on there, so let's print that off on that. Print that down. much of an imprint. And then the other thing that I can do on top of this is I can spray on top of it. So if I use that brown again, let's fold it in half. So the leaves kind of fade into the background a little bit now. So how many pages have I done so far? So I've got 2, 3, 4. Okay. Gives you a rough idea, doesn't it? So I will then carry on doing all things like that to all of these pages. Just playing and inking and spritzing. Now, because my pages are all separated, it's at this point that if I'm going to do any kind of sewing at all, I will do. I might just dry all these off a little bit longer. Anyone got any questions so far for now? You've got stencil envy. Just by a few each time, Karen, I built my stocks of stencils up bit by bit. I mean, I have to say stencils, they can either be very, very expensive or very, very cheap. Depends on whose you get. If you go for those with the, you know, the well-known names, they seem to charge an arm and a leg. And what was the last sprays? That was these Delusions sprays, Sheila. So that one's, I think it's chocolate. That one's called. That green, I think it's lime something. And I think that this pink one might be bubblegum. At a guess. You're welcome. Now, I'm not on about AliExpress cheap, but there are other stencil designers. And, you know, £3, £4, £5. And especially if you go on eBay, people selling them off as well. Cheaply if they've finished using them. And oh, Maureen retracted her comment. I dread to think what she put. Relatively dry. We'll use that. That's dry, so we'll use that. That's going to have to go in there, in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. So far, out of the 3, let's get them out. So we've got the Delusion sprays. We've got the Distress stains, and we've got the Distress inks, which would be, no, you didn't miss much, Zena, which would be the sort that you would normally kind of go for, do you think? See, I love the shimmery ones. For the simple fact, I love that little bit of shimmer. I'm not one for a lot of glitz and glam, but I do like a bit of a shimmer. But I also like the effect of the puddling of colours when they form these little puddles of colours. I do like those as well. I put Delusions, but it changed it to Delusions. Maybe that's what they should be called. We'll have to get in contact with Diane and say, can you start to call your things Delusions, please? Oh, who's that just turned up from Kentucky? Jennifer. Hello there, Jennifer. Just asking which everyone would probably use. Distress stains, Delusions, Distress inks. Oh, I haven't finished yet. Oh, for the T-ring idea. Yeah, I mean, any simple little circle will do you. But the innards of your washi tape reels. Okay, I'm going to push those off to one side. Now, obviously, I need to do more to my pages before they're actually ready to use, but I don't want to be totally boring for you guys and carry on inking up the rest of my pages, because that's an hour of your life you'll never get back otherwise. So I want to show you a couple of things that I want to do with the digital kit. Where's it gone? I've put it somewhere safe. Oh, it's there, so it didn't get covered in ink. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me move these mats out the way. Look at the state of my fingers. What a mucky pup. Put them over there. Now then. As I said at the beginning, this is the one that I want to use on my front cover. You know, the thing is about all the inks and all the stains and all the sprays is that it actually gets really, really expensive. Now, you know, I don't know about you guys, I certainly don't have the money, and I do this as a job. You know, this is my profession now, doing this. But I do not have the money to go out and buy the whole range of all of the inks and everything, because it's ridiculous. You know, every time there's a new season, there's a new collection of inks, a new collection of colours, and there are those who are very fortunate and very lucky that they can afford to get them. Me, no can do. So I tend to watch the videos and pick up on certain colours that I like and think about the projects that I want to make, and will those colours that I like go with the projects that I want to do. And so I'll maybe buy 3, 4 of a colour, you know, of a range. So it's like these Delusions shimmer sprays. Let me just see if I can get my other one out. Hang on. I think I got 4, but I might be wrong. No, I got 3. So I got 3 of those, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the Delusions paints. All right, that's all I've got, because I also got to think that those colours could be sat there for ages before I get to use them. And by the time I get around to using them, they'll have gone off and they'll be out of date. And in terms of, you know, they're not fashionable anymore. So I've got to think wisely about the colours that I purchase. Yes, I make my own sprays as well, Jennifer. But again, I don't do an awful lot of spraying. So I had to go at doing it, but they've been sat in my cupboard for months. Months and months, because I've not used them. So it's only recently that I started getting more into doing, you know, the inking and the spraying and stuff, and having a bit of a play. But it's about building your stash up bit by bit, and not feeling pressured to go out and buy all these colours and all these inks and all these sprays. Watch the videos. Watch the videos that Diane does and Tim does, and look to see what it is that they're creating, and think, all right, that technique there, am I likely to use that technique in what I make? Because if it's not, then that ink might not be any good to you, you know? Just hang on a minute. It's got a little thing come up on my screen. It's about being practical, and I have to be practical. So I get a few so that I can have a play. I think of the colours that I would use, and, you know, that's me. And then if I really like them, if I'm finding that I'm using them a lot, I'll replace the ones that I've used up, and I might add an extra colour or an extra 2 colours to the list, but that'll be me done. Okay, front cover. I don't want to use the whole sheet. It's these flowers that I like. So I've printed the 2 sheets, or I've printed the design twice. And I'm going to cut out this piece to stick on the front, and I'm going to cut out the same piece to stick on the back. Paper trimmer, where have you gone? There we go. I sound like her out of Hocus Pocus, don't I? Book. Because otherwise, next thing you know, you haven't got enough money for your electric bill. Because you spent it all on inks and dyes that then end up sitting there for months on end, and colours that you will probably never ever use. The main thing that I spent my money on when I first started out was the distress ink pads and the re-inkers to go with those. And I looked at those colours that I used the most and purchased the re-inkers for those, because I know that I can create that, and I know that I can create, where's it gone? Hang on, bear with. I can create these with a bottle of re-inker. So not only can I re-ink my inking pads, but I can actually make my own, you know, daubers and sprays with the re-inker. So I tried to think about it practically. And so I ended up buying the re-inkers more than I did anything else. And it's only since folks have started getting more into, you know, a bit of artwork and a bit of mixed media that I thought, ooh, maybe I ought to have a couple of those just so as I can see, so that at least if anyone asks, then I have a bit of knowledge. Have you made a video on making your own? No, I've not bothered. I've not bothered, Jennifer, because there's I want that out. There's enough people out there that have done it, you know. So right, so I want. What advice is Maureen giving? Hang on, let me catch up. I remember adding eyeshadow. Yeah, you see, I added mica eyeshadow as well. Where I live, there are no hobby shops, and then I feel there is not very much variety here in Norway. So that's the great thing about Amazon. It makes it so easy to be able to purchase these things then on Amazon. But obviously you pay that little bit more money for them. What are the papers you're using called? These papers or these papers? That one or that one? I don't know which one you meant. That was Emma. Ah, that's what she's saying. Thank you to Maureen for. Yeah, it's an Ephemera's Vintage Garden one. It's a new one. Okay. Now, I have to say I'm not a measurer. So I want to cut it about there. So in fact, I want to cut it a little bit smaller than that because I want a bit of a border. Where did I put that little dink? There. Okay. Ooh, let me do. Let me cut off that bit there, and then I'll cut a little bit of this excess off on that side. That way, I'm including that purple flower. So I'm not trying to preach at people, you know, and tell them how they're to spend their money. That's entirely up to you. But as I say, realistically, there does come a point where enough is enough. My budget will only go so far. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that kind of fits on there all right. I'll do the piece for the back later on. Now then, where did I just put them last? There. So I want to ink around the edge because I've printed this onto white paper. I want to make sure that that white edge there has gone. Well, we've got to be careful these days with our pennies, haven't we? It's the same as I was watching David Attenborough did a programme in the UK, and it was made live the other day, and it was all about the environment and how everything that we are doing as humans is having a knock-on effect with so much, with the insects, with the land, with plants, with diseases. And I thought to myself, do you know what? He's right, you know. We've just become so flippant about so many things. God, I'm on a preaching stool today. I'm on my box. But we've become so used to just doing things without thinking. Liking that on there. That I've made myself an executive decision. I'm not buying any more 12 by 12 papers. Hang on, what's that Jennifer saying? Do you think gluing with a glue stick lasts as long as wet inks? No, I don't. Because it's not as even a coverage either. I think it does it for long enough. It depends as well on the glue stick that you're using, of course, but well, any glue really is only going to last for so long. Do you remember as kids how we used to do flour and water? I just remember my mum making us up a bowl of flour and water for glue. Oh no, it's not my kit, Karen. It's Ephemera's Vintage Garden. It came through via email today that she'd launched a new one, and these are just the colours that I absolutely adore. Are dual-toned colours, and I've been wanting to make myself this autumn journal for ages. And I thought today was the day. I thought, sod it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I want to put that other piece on now. So I want to finish off that cover. Okay, same again. But yeah, it did the programme really made me sort of stop and think. And as a single person, it was hard to try and contemplate what I could do differently to make a difference to the world, you know, to make it better, to improve it. I'm no politician either. I'm not one for watching on politics or anything, so I'm not coming from any kind of political standpoint, that's for sure. Let's see how long I want that. But we've got to do something. But yeah, I've decided I'm going to start doing a lot more thinking about recycling or reusing stuff, and you know, packaging and boxes. It always amazes me when I've done my food shopping how much packaging I end up throwing away. And it's like, I'm a single person. How can I make 3 bags of packaging rubbish that I can't use? I mean, I can't save any more cereal boxes. I need to use the ones that I've got. I want to ink that up. So busy being on my soapbox, you see. I did think sod it. But yeah, I'm not buying any more 12 by 12 paper pads. I have got enough paper pads to last me and my grandchildren their lifetimes. I will never use them all. Never ever use them all. So that's got to stop. So that's not happening anymore. I'm going to be using all my packaging for my journal covers. The only paper I think that I will now go out and go and buy is my plain papers for printing on and for coffee dyeing. And I think that's it. Yeah, I know, my soapbox. I could choose that. Yeah, would it be big enough for a journal cover though, Karen? Oh dear. Right, let's stick that on there. Dooby-dooby-doo. Well, you know, it just comes to a point, doesn't it, where you just think, I know it's the big corporations really that really need to get their backsides in gear to get things sorted. And I'm not sure as a single woman how I can influence them to stop when for them it's all about, you know, the mighty dollar. An antique soapbox I purchase. Hang on, I'll go and coffee dye one up for you and I'll say it's vintage and say it's for sale. I see, isn't that a lovely cover? Oh, it's so pretty. Me liking. Sad really, isn't it? Sad. Okay, and then these will be some of my pages on the inside. Now then, when I was looking at the digital kit, where's oh, they're there. Keep losing them. I saw that one with the squirrel. And I thought I could chop him off down there. You see, to me, you always need to look at a digital kit and not just see it as it is. You need to look beyond those points. So I'm looking at that squirrel bit and thinking I could chop him out and he could be a long pocket on one of the pages. And then I'm looking at all these flower collections and thinking, well, I could cut those out and have those across the page as a pocket. And then there's the mushrooms, I could cut those out. This one, look, this one I thought. Turn it round. So, you know, if I fussy cut around that, wouldn't that be lovely as a pocket on the bottom of a page? In fact, let's do it. Let's live dangerously. Oops, I just dropped something on the floor. Oh, hang on. Let me have a read. Cindy thinks I'm funny. I don't know what she meant. Anne's put, had the same feeling. Working at middle school, paper is tossed so much. Yeah, I mean, let me just show you something. I have got... When I put a new ink in, it always has to do this. Has to do this tester sheet. Well, I get through loads of ink, so I print loads of these off. And then I've got pages that haven't printed properly. Oh, the colour doesn't come out right. And I'm loathed to throw them away. Watch out for a journal being made from all my rubbish. Then there's all the packaging that Amazon puts in. Oh, save all of that now as well. Okay, let's do a bit of fussy cutting. Oh, I didn't finish reading what you put there, Anne. Just as activity books So I started recycling the paper myself. Only downfall, I now have too much recycled paper. Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? I mean, we can only recycle so much until it gets to a point where it's like, this is ridiculous, I've no more space for the recycled stuff. It's like there's only so many journals you can make if you're going to use them for yourself. Oh, I've cut that flower out a bit skewy. I need my good eyes in. I don't think I've got my good eyes in today. I might have to chop off some of this excess as well. Oh, I get preachy when I get going. The world according to Carol. Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, obviously different country to a lot of you, but those that are in the UK will know what I mean. Farm foods send out these big leaflets at least once a month, but they're massive. And I'm thinking the households that you send those to, you have used more trees than I have with my journals making them blooming things. Just to get me to go and spend my money at your store. Oh, I'm going to have to cut the excess off. Just bear with me a minute. There we go. Oh, that's easier to handle, isn't it? But I don't know. How do we get them to stop doing that? Oh, I don't know. It's all such a big problem, and it's bigger than I know how to deal with. That's for sure. I'm kind of rushing this a little bit because I want you to sort of get a sense of what I want this journal to look like. After I've finished doing this live, I will sit and just play quite happily and merrily. In fact, I want that to finish there. So in fact, I can chop you off square. Let's do you like that. And do you about there. So yeah, it was one of the things that I loved about doing my classes. On an evening, we would sit while sewing. We'd put the worlds to rights. Look at that one there, look. Doesn't that look pretty? Love it. I plant trees, I can't seem to stop. That's lovely. So I'd love to be able to plant a tree like that. I'm going to ink that up and I'm going to stick it on that page because I like it. Where's my ink gone? There. So I asked the question on group, what is it you're doing to help to save our planet? And there was the lady from, I think it was Denmark. It's amazing what they do. I thought, oh blimey, if we all lived like that, what a better place we would be to living in. Okay. Ooh, figs. Ooh. Okay, what glue do I want? That one. I'm not a lover of figs, I have to say. See, there's also about where you live as well, isn't it? I mean, there's so many big areas in America, and especially if you live up in the mountains or... I think my glue's run out. Let's just get another glue out, Carol. If you live in the mountains or out in the countryside, Your countryside is very different to our countryside here in the UK. Everything in my garden has to earn its keep. If it's not good for birds, bees and butterflies, it's out. Good for you, Maureen. See, I don't have a garden. And I don't like bugs either. So it's a good job I've not got a garden. I won't be able to do any digging or weeding. I'd be frightened of coming across a bug. Right, scaredy cat. Put a little dab on there. So I sort of sat there thinking afterwards, I thought, it's all right telling me, Mr. Attenborough, to do my bit. I know there's a lot of us trying to do our bit, but unless you convince governments and big corporations to do their bit, you're not going to see a difference, I'm afraid. Me stopping buying 12x12 paper pads is not going to make the world a better place. Cut another big white flower and stick it over the other with the dimensional. You've been watching too many postcard alterations, because that's what I was going to do. In fact, I was going to do that on my front cover. Where's it gone? There. I was going to cut out this owl and this mushroom and 3D him maybe on top. But I'm not going to do any dimensional stuff at the moment until I've done the rest of my pages, because otherwise dimensional stuff can end up getting ruined. So the other thing is, because of all the stamens on the inner petal there, would look lovely with some stickles on, or even micro beads. I was going to call them hundreds and thousands then. Those little micro beads being stuck on there, that would look lovely too. We planted over 200 trees in our, I can't read what that says, in our back something. Yeah, but unless everyone's doing it and unless the big corporations are doing it, I'm not going to make that much difference, me on my Billy. Okay. What was the other one I was going to do? I was going to do the long pocket, wasn't I? Now, I want to do the long pocket one for you because of a specific thing that I want to do. Have a look at these. Oh, there's a doubler. Right, we'll see about doing that one maybe. Let's have a look. Where's my squirrel gone? There. Okay, let's cut him off as a pocket. Gotta have a pocket or two, 'cause you've gotta have a pocket or two, 'cause I can't sing anymore either. This blooming breathing problem. It's affecting my vocal cords. So that's one thing I miss, you know, is having the girls round and having putting the worlds to right chat. Do I want... just have a look. I think I might include that flower there. Winging it. Okay. Now, will he look odd on there? Yes. He will look better on there, I think. Ooh, maybe that's better. Yeah, liking him on that side. Okay, let's ink that up. As I say, I'm doing this because I want to show you something specific. But you're just gonna have to bear with me a minute. Okay, so I want to stick that on there as a side pocket, so it'll go in like that. Alright, so I'm going to put glue top, bottom and down that one long side. Now, one of the things that I want to do with this journal is I want to use up some of my washi tape, because that's another fad that we went through of all buying 10 ton of washi tapes, and I bet they're all still sat in a drawer, barely used, half of them. Okay, now let me just sit that in there randomly for now. I've made journals before where all the edges of the pages here are covered in washi tape. So rather than adding laces and bulking it up, because I want to write in this, I want to keep it fairly flat. And so what I want to do is I want to add some washi tapes. Here's a few I got ready earlier. And I've got some lovely autumnal ones. See, aren't they pretty? Been sat there for over a year. Well over a year. I've got some metallic foily ones, all sorts, butterflies. I mean, look how much is on that reel. There's loads. Some graph papery ones. I don't use my washi tapes enough, and so what I want to do is I want to cover the edges of not every single page, but most of the pages with some washi tape. But if you're going to do that, you've got to think ahead a little bit. So like here, I'm putting this pocket on this side, because if I'd put the washi tape on first, the pocket would then sit on top of the washi tape. So the pocket's got to go on first, so now I can put the washi tape on. Of course, you'll find now that I won't have a washi tape that'll go with it well. Ooh, that brown one. That one could work quite well, I think. So you've always got to think when you're doing your page of the steps that you've got to go through, so that you do it in the right order, so that you don't mux it up. Okay, let's open that up. Yeah, that'll go nice with that one. Okay, I'm going to put a line of glue on, because I never trust a washi tape to stick. So I'm just putting it along that long edge. And then that can go on there. Just test that I've got it on the other side correctly. So that I've got half on one side and half on the other. So that's a bit too... It's to be a bit further down. There we go. And then I can put a line of glue on this side. And fold that over. Well, I'll tell you one of the things I have started doing. My oven is switched on for 24 hours, 7 days a week. I don't cook in my oven that often, so I've started switching that off now and only switching it back on because it's an electric fan oven. Only switching it back on when I need to use it and then switching it back off again afterwards. That's another one of my little contributions. Okay, let's just trim that off. That excess. And you can see it starts to add a really nice edge to the edge of the papers, and especially when you've got a collection of different colours on each of the pages. Oh yeah, it's Tombow glue. In fact, I've got a video. If you go into search, Google, YouTube search, and put in Carol Tinson glue, the video will come up with all the glues that I like to use, because I use different ones for different things. This is one of the things that I have got into. I use specific glues for specific items. So I use my Collal, I'll use my Tombow, I'll use my Fabri-Tac, and I use my Glossy Accents, and I will have all of these glues. I can't just use just one glue, because they're designed for a specific job, and so that's, I like all my different glues for those specific jobs. But yeah, going back to the washi tape, so if you imagine the edges of the pages all done with different colours, just real pretty. And I haven't got to either have all square edge pages. I could cut into these and make a nice, you know, and then cut pieces like this out and have them as corner pockets and all sorts of tuck spots. But I just wanted to bring you on the start of the journey to what will be my autumn journal. For me, I'm actually doing this. This is mine. Very often I say, I'm making this journal for me, and I end up then selling it. But this one's mine. No one's getting their grubby hands on this one. It's mine. So I just wanted to go through the process of, like, all I'm using is a book that's already pre-made. I'm inking up the pages, and I'm going to use a variety of different inks to ink up the pages, and I'm going to use different methods just to break the monotony of the whiteness of it all down. And then I'm going to use the digital kit to decorate up the pages with pockets and tucks, and there's the odd one or two that I'll have as a flip, so I'll cut that in half and add it as a flip page that way, or a flip page vertically. So what I'll do is I'm going to go off and go and play, and I'm going to climb down off my soapbox for today. Oh dear. And I'm going to go and finish playing, making my quick journal, because as I say, I want to start writing in this tonight. So what time is it now? It's 5:30. So I've got another couple of hours of playing on it, and then I'm going to start using it and start writing in it. So once I've got it sort of done to the point where it's ready to write in, I'll come back and do a quick video to show you what it looked like when I'd finished playing about with the pages and stuff, and add in some of my extra bits and pieces. Yeah, see, I love that. I like that. I like that style, that imagery. What's it called? It's got a specific name. Oh, forgotten. It'll come to me. Okay. Thank you for joining me in my creaky chair and my spring. I hope it wasn't springing too much on the video whilst you were watching, and it's giving you a little bit of a thought process of how you can make something really quite quickly, so just by playing really with a simple book, and make something really quite beautiful with it, or it will be when I've finished playing anyway. So thank you ever so much for joining me, everyone. Sorry about getting on my soapbox. I don't have no one to talk to. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope I haven't bored you too much. Take care of yourselves. Carry on planting them trees, girls. Well done. Plant one for me. And yeah, I'll see you all again really soon. Oh God, I need a cup of tea. See you all later. Bye for now. Bye. Bye. Love you. Love you. Bye. Oh, look, I do this every time. I say I'm going. I do all my buys and all the rest. Then I can't find my X to switch it off. I found it now. All right, I'm going. See ya. Ta-ra.